Ramakrishna Sharanam, Ramakrishna Sharanam, Ramakrishna Sharanam Sharanye. Ramakrishna Sharanam, Ramakrishna Sharanam, Ramakrishna.
Privilege and pleasure to welcome everybody to our puja for Sri Ramakrishna's birthday. The actual TT was a little earlier, but we're arranging it today. We wish, of course, that we could do it with everybody present, but this is the next best thing. It's nice that we're doing it in our own shrine, in our own center here, and I'm glad that all of you can join us at least by Zoom. And I think everybody knows that they can come afterwards and get prasad. Okay, so we'll begin now. Om Sarvamangalam Harimyam Varadam Shubham Narayanam Namaskritya Sarva Karmanikare. Om Tavishno Paramandanam Sarvabhasanti Suraya Sarada Devi Om Tritrivayatruva Sarvastam Tokila Yasre Pundarikaksham Sarvajya Sundarashikiti Om Devatat Prakuram Chittam Papakrantam Bhagavan Tandasarya Chittam Me Papam Pachate Namaha Om Surya Somo Yamakalo Maha Bhutani Panchara. Yeah. Ete Shubha Shubhasyeha Karmano Navasaksinaha. This is called Punyaha Vachanam. Om Kartavyesman Sri Ramakrishna Devasya Shubha Janma Titi Nimittika Sri Ramakrishna Puja Karmani Om Punyaham Paramanto Bhravantu Om Punyaham Om Punyaham Om Punyaham. Om Kartavyesman Sri Ramakrishna Devasya Shubha Janma Titi Nimittika Sri Ramakrishna Puja Karmani Om Swasti Bhavantu Bhravantu Om Swasti Om Swasti Om Swasti. Om Kartavyesmin Sri Ramakrishna Devasya Shubha Janma Titi Nimittika Sri Ramakrishna Puja Karmani Om Vridhim Bhavanto Bhravantu Om Rityatam Om Rityatam Om Rityatam. Om Swasti Na Indra Varidasra Swasti Na Pusha Vishwavedah Swasti Na Starkshavarishtanemi Swasti No Brihaspati Dadhatu Om Swasti Om Swasti Om Swasti. Om Surya Soma Yamakala Sankhye Bhutanjama Shava Pavinabdi Pati Bhumir Akasham Kacharamaraha Brahmim Shasramastaya Kalvadhvam Yesam Vidhyam. Now we take a little bit of water, a little rice. Om Surya Somayama Kala Sandhya Bhunya Chabaha. Oh, sorry. Om Vishnu Ram Tatsadadya Falgune Masi Shukla Pakshe द्वितीयायां तिथौ नित्यलीला भावविकासनाय निखिलजनमध्ये तन्महात्म्येषु वृद्धये तत्प्रीतये च श्रीरामकृष्णदेवस्य शुभजन्मतिथिनिमित्तिक सर्वदेवदेवी स्वरूप श्रीरामकृष्ण पूजनं तदि श्रीचरणाश्रितोऽहं करिष्यामि. ओम संकल्पात् सिद्धन्तु सिद्धा सन्तु मनोरथाः भक्तिज्ञानोदयाय अयमारम्भः शुभाय भवतु. Now we worship the space where the Koshakushi will go. Om Ete Gandharvashve Adhare Shaktyaadityo Namaha. Namaha. Om Bange Charajamane Jaya Godavri Saraswati Narmade Sindhu Kaveri Jalismin Sangatim Kuru. Dwara Puja. Om Dwara Devadakhyo Namaha. Om Ete Gandharvashve Dwara Devadakhyo Namaha. Om Ete Gandharvashve Brahmane Namaha. Om Ete Gandharvashve Vastu Purushaya Namaha. Pat 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 pat. Om Apasarpantu de Bhuta Ye Bhuta Bhuvi Samstita Ye Bhuta Viknakartaraste Nasyantu Shivagyaya. Om Raksha Raksham Phat Swaha. Now we worship the asana where we sit. अस्यासनोपवेशनमन्त्रस्य मरुपृष्ठऋषिः सुतलं छन्दः कुर्मो देवता आसनोपवेशने विनियोगः ॐ पृथ्वी त्वयाधरा लोकाः देवी त्वं विष्णुनाथरा त्वं च धार्यमां नित्यं पवित्रं कुरु चासनम् ॐ ह्रीं दिगन्धपुष्टे आधारशक्तये कमलासनाय नमः. And we worship the whole line of the Gurus. Ain Guru Pyo Namaha, Ain Parama Guru Pyo Namaha, Ain Parapara Guru Pyo Namaha, Om Parameshti Guru Pyo Namaha, Om Gam Ganeshaya Namaha, Om Ain Sarvadevi Swarupaya Sri Ramakrishna Namaha. Karashuddhi. Now we purify the hands. Shang Ang Hum Pat Swaha Kling Ain Pat. Now we purify the flowers that we use in puja. Om Shatabhishekam Hum Pat Swaha. Om Pushpe Pushpe Mahapushpe Supushpe Pushpa Sambhave Pushpa Chayabhikir Necha Hum Pat Swaha. Om Ain Sarvadevi Devi Swarupaya Sri Ramakrishna Namaha. Mantra Shuddhi. Kange ngang kange kang change chang tange tang tange tang pange pang yange yang shange shang. Now we envision a wall of fire surrounding us, so protecting us. Ram, 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 ram. Om Durge Durge Rakshini Swaha Om Anghum Pat Swaha. Now we do pranayama. Now this is a meditation on Kundalini. Kundalini rising. Om Bhutisringata Chiraha Sushumnapatena Jiva Shivam Paramashiva Pade Yojayami Swaha. Om Yang Linga Shariram Shoshe Shoshe Swaha. Om Rang Sankocha Shariram Daha Daha Swaha. Paramashiva Sushumnapatena Guru Shringatam Ullasa Ullasa Jwala Jwala Prajwala Prajwala Soham Hamsa Swaha. Jivanyasa. Angring Krom Yang Rang Lang Wang Shang Shang Chang Hom Hamsaha Sri Ramakrishna Devatayaha Prana Ye Pranaha Ang Hring Krong Yang Rang Lang Wang Shang Sang Sang Hom Hamsa Sri Ramakrishna Devataya Jiva Ihe Stitaha Ang Hring Krong Yang Rang Lang Wang Shang Sang Sang Hom Hamsa Sri Ramakrishna Devataya Sarvendriyani Ang Hring Krong Yang Rang Lang Wang Shang Sang Sang Hom Hamsa Shri Ramakrishna Devataya Vang Manas Chakshu Srota Grana Prang Yagatya Sukham Chiram Tishtantu Swaha ओम अस्य मातृका मंत्रस्य ब्रह्म ऋषिः गायत्री छन्दः देवी मातृका सरस्वती देवता अदो बीजानि स्वराः शक्तयः अव्यक्तं कीलकं सर्वाभीष्टसिद्धये लिपिन्यासे विनियोगः ओम ब्रह्मणे ऋषये नमः ओम गायत्री छन्दसे नमः ओम मातृका सरस्वत्यै देवतायै नमः ओम हल्भ्यो बीजेभ्यो नमः ओम स्वरेभ्यो शक्तिभ्यो नमः ओम अव्यक्तकीलकाय नमः करण्यास अंकं okay. Now we make offerings to Surya. ओम नमो विश्वदे ब्रह्मन् भास्वदे विष्णु तेजसे जगत् सवित्रे शुचये सवित्रे कर्मदायिने एष अर्घ्यः ओम श्री सूर्याय नमः ओम जवाकुसुमं काश्यपेयमहाद्युतिं ध्वान्तारिं सर्वपापघ्नं प्रणतोऽस्मि दिवाकरम्. Now we offer worship to the different deities. Om Edi Gandhapushpe Shri Gurave Namaha. Om Gam Edi Gandhapushpe Ganeshaya Namaha. Om Namah Shivaya Edi Gandhapushpe Shivaya Namaha. Om Namo Narayanaya Edi Gandhapushpe Narayanaya Namaha. Om Hring Edi Gandhapushpe Jagat Durdariye Namaha. Om Edi Gandhapushpe Agnaye Namaha. Om Edi Gandhapushpe Adityadi Navagrahebhyo Namaha. Om Edi Gandhapushpe Indradi Dashatikpalebhyo Namaha. Om Edi Gandhapushpe Kalyadi Dashamahavidyabhyo Namaha. Om Edi Gandhapushpe Sarvebhyo Devebhyo Namaha. Om Edi Gandhapushpe Sarvabhyo Devebhyo Namaha. Om Edi Gandhapushpe Akaradi Panchashad Vanebhyo Namaha. Om Edi Vandurushve Pratipadadi Titibhyo Namaha. Om Edi Vandurushve Krishna Pakshaya Namaha. Om Edi Vandurushve Shukla Pakshaya Namaha. Om Edi Vandurushve Amavasyaya Namaha. Om Edi Vandurushve Purnimaya Namaha. Now we do separate worship for the Guru. Om Paramanandam Paramasukadam Kevalam Jnanamurtim Dvandvatitam Gagnasadrisam Tattvam Syadilakshyan Ekam Nityam Vimanavacharam Sarvati Sakshi Bhutam Bhavatitam Trigunarahitam Sadgurum Tam Namah. Om Esha Gandha Sri Gurave Namaha. Om Gidam Sachandra Pushpam Sri Gurave Namaha. Om Gidam Sachandra Velvapatra Sri Gurave Namaha. Om Esha Dhupa Sri Gurave Namaha. Om Esha Dhipa Sri Gurave Namaha. Okay, we leave my plate open. Just one. I want one small plate. Put food and sweets. Not in Mahabu. Just take the top one. Okay. And then you can put this flower. Om Gidam Sobravedyam Sri Gurave Namaha. Om Akhandamandalakaram Vyaptam Yena Characharam Tatpadam Darishitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Now we have a short worship of Ganesha. Om Karvam Stulatarum Gajendra Vadanam Lambodram Sundaram Prasyandam Madagandha Labdha Madhuva Vyalola Gandhasthalam Tantadhata Vitarita Darvidhe Sundara Shobhakaram Vande Shailasuta Sutam Ganapatim Siddhiparadam Kamadam. Om Gam Esha Gandha Ganeshaya Namaha. Om Gam Idam Sachandra Pushpam Ganeshaya Namaha. Upah. Okay, someone can put this on the plate. Om Ekam Suvavedyam Ganeshaya Namaha. Om Devendra Mauli Mandara Makanad Kararunaha Vikram Harantu He Ramba Charana Mujare Navaha. Ekdantam Mahakayam Lambodram Gajananam Vikhnachkaram Devam Herambam Pranamamyaham. Vakratunta Mahakaya Koti Surya Samaprava Nirvighna Kurume Deva Sarva Karyeshu Sarvada. Pita Nyasa. Om Hring Pita Devabhyo Namaha. Devatabhyo Namaha. Om Hring Pita Shakibhyo Namaha. Om Hring Sarva Devi Devi Sarupaya Sri Ramakrishnaya Namaha. Idyasya Mantrasya Brahma Rishihi Gayatri Chandaha Sarva Devi Devi Swarupaha. Sri Ramakrishna Devata Vrishyadiniyasa Viniyogaha. Om Brahmane Rishaya Namaha. Om Gayatri Chandase Namaha. Om Aing Sarva Devi Devi Sarupaya Sri Ramakrishnaya Namaha. Karanyas. Aing Angushtabhyam Namaha. Ramtajahibhyam Swaha. Mang Mathyamabhyam Vashat. Kuninganamikabhyam Hum. Shnam Kanishtabhyam Vashat. Aing Ramakrishna Karatalvishtabhyam Astraya. Aing Hridayaya Namaha. Aing Shirase Swaha. Mang Shikaye Vashat. Kuring Kavachaya Hum. Shnam Netrabhyam Vashat. Aing Ramakrishna Karatalvishtabhyam Astraya. Om Aing Sarva Devi Devi Swarupaya Sri Ramakrishnaya Namaha. Now we have meditation on Sri Ramakrishna. Om Hridaya Kamalavachye Rachitam Nirvikalpam Sadasada Bhedachitam Ekaswarupam Prakriti Vikriti Shunyam Nityamanandamurtim Ramana Paramahamsam Ramakrishnam Bhajamaha Nirupamamati Sukshmam Nishpravancham Niriham Gaganasadrisamisham Sarvabhuta Trigunarahita Satchit Brahmarupam Varenyam Vimala Paramahamsam Ramakrishnam Bhajamaha Vitaritumavatirnam Dhyana Bhakti Prashanti Pranaya Galita Chittam Jiva Dukha Sahishnum Dhurita Sahaja Samathim Chinmayam Kamalangam Vimala Paramahamsam Ramakrishnam Bhajamaha. Now we do this, what's called Manasa Puja, where all of the items that are offered symbolically represent spiritual items. Padmam asanam dadyat sahasrarachutayam maridehe padyam charanayo dadyat manastvargyam nivedaye tenamritena chamaniyam snaniyam tena jasmratam akashatattvam vastram syat gandhasyat gandhatattvatam चित्तं प्रकल्पयेत् पुष्पं धूपं प्राणं प्रकल्पयेत् तेजस्तत्त्वं च दीपवर्तं नैवेद्यं स्यात् सुधाम्भुधे अनाहतध्वनिं घण्टा वायुतत्त्वं च चामरम् सहस्रारं भवेत् चक्रं शब्दतत्त्वं च गीतकम् नृत्यम् इन्द्रियकारमाणि चाञ्चल्यमरसस्तथा सुमेखलं पद्ममालां पुष्पं नानविधं तथा अमायाद्यैर्भावपुष्पे परिचयेत् भवगोचरम् अमायम् अनहङ्कारम् अरागम् अमदं तथा अमोहकं दम्भं च अद्वेषक्षोभको तथा अमात्सर्यमलोभं च दशपुष्पं सुदुर्बुधः अहिंसा परमं पुष्पं पुष्पमिन्द्रियनिग्रह दया पुष्पं क्षमा पुष्पं ज्ञानपुष्पं च पञ्चमम् इति पञ्चदशैर्भावपुष्पैः सम्भुजयेच्छेवम्. Now we worship the conch, which we'll use for our arati. Om Edigandavuspe Adhara Shaktikyo Namaha. Om Edigandavuspe Mangvani Mandalaya Dashikalapane Namaha. Om Om Arka Mandalaya Dwadish Kalapnide Namaha. Om Gange cha Yamane cha Godavari Saraswati Narmade Sindhu Kaveri Jalesmin Sannidhim Kuru. We invoke all of the holy rivers of India into the water in the Ganges. Om Edigandavuspe Tirtebhyo Namaha. Om Edigandavuspe Sri Ramakrishna Puja Namaha. Sri Ramakrishna Devi Gacha. We invoke the presence of Sri Ramakrishna within the Ganges. Iya Gacha, Iya Gacha, Iya Tishta, Iya Sandidhehi, Iya Sandidhehi, Iya Sandarudhyasva, Iya Sandarudhyasva, Iya Sambukhi Bhava, Iya Sambukhi Bhava, Tathradishtanam Kurumava Pujam Gurihana. Om Nityanandabhuspe Sarada Devi Swarupa Shri Ramakrishna Namaha. Om Sarva Devi Swarupaya Shri Ramakrishna Namaha. Pita Puja. Om Ring E Devanta Bhuspe Pita Devatabhyo Namaha. Om Ring E Devanta Bhuspe Pita Shakibhyo Namaha. Now we begin in worship of Sri Ramakrishna. Many of the items we may not have, the asana and things, so we offer flower in place of asana. So this will be push, they call it pushpasana. Om Sarva Bhutantarasthaya Sarva Bhutantaratmane Kalpayam Yupaveshatam Asanam Te Namo Namaha. Swagatam. We welcome Sri Ramakrishna to our worship. Om Yasya Darshanvichanti Deva Swabhishta Siddhaye Tasmai Te Parameshana Swagatam Swagatam Prabho Ajme Sapalam Janma Jivanam Sapala Kriyaha Swagatam Yatvaya Tanme Tapasa Palamagatam Om Sarva Devi Devi Swarupa Shri Ramakrishna Deva Swagatam Suswagatam Te. Padyam, water for washing his feet. Om Yad Bhakti Lesha Samparkat Paramananda Samplavaha Tasmai Te Parameshana Padyam Shuddhaya Kalpaye. Arita. Om Durgakshadasama Yuktam Verva Patramrataparam Shobhanam Shambhavatrastham Grihanarghyam Maheshwara. Achamaniyam. Om Mandakinyasthu Tadvadi Sarva Paparam Shubham Grihanarchamaniyam Swam Maya Bhaktya Niveditam. Madhuparaka. Om Sarva Karmashanashaya Paripurna Sudharmakam Madhuparkamimam Deva Kalpayami Prasidame. Punarachamaniyam. Om Vichishtamapyasya Shuchirva Yasya Smaranamatardah Shutim Apnoti Tasmai Te Punar Achamaniyam. Gandhikailam. Om Sneham Grihan Snehena Lokanam Hitakaraka Sarvalokeshu Shudhastvam Dadami Snehabhuttamam. Snaniyam Idam Sushitalam Vadi Swacham Shuddham Manoharam महाराज तं ते मया भक्त्या कल्पितं प्रतिगृह्यताम् वस्त्रम्। ॐ मया चित्रपटाच्छन्न निजभूषतरुतरिसे निरावरणविद्याय वासस्थे कथयाम्यहम् उत्तरीयम्। ॐ यमाश्रित्य महामाया जगत्सम्मोहिनी सदा तस्मै ते परमेशाय कल्पयाम्युत्तरीयकम् आभरणम्। स्वभावसुन्दराङ्गाय नानाशक्त्याश्रयाय ते रजितं भूषणं तुभ्यं कल्पयामि प्रसीद मे। गन्ध। ॐ शरीरं ते न जानामि चेष्टां नैव च नैव च मया निवेदितान् गन्धान् प्रतिगृह्य विलिप्यताम् पुष्पम्। ॐ तुरीयवनसम्पन्नं नानागुणमनोहरम् आनन्दसौरभं पुष्पं गृह्यताम् इदमुत्तमम् बिल्वपत्रम्। ॐ अमृतोद्भवं श्रीवृक्षं शङ्करस्य सदा प्रियं बिल्वपत्रं परीक्षामि पवित्रं ते सुरेश्वर। तुलसीपत्रम्। ॐ नमस्ते बहुरूपाय विष्णुवे परमात्मने स्वाहा। ॐ ऐङ्गिदं सचन्द्र तुलसीपत्रं सर्वदेवदेवी स्वरूपाय श्रीरामकृष्णाय नमः। ॐ रामकृष्णाय विद्महे गणाधराय धीमहि तन्नो प्रचोदयात्। दीपः। ॐ सुप्रकाशो महादीपः सर्वदर्शिमरापः सभाभ्यन्तरज्योतिर्दीपोऽयं प्रतिगृह्यते। न तत्र सूर्यो भाति न चन्द्रतारकम् नेमा विद्युतो भाति कुतोऽयमग्निः तमेव भान्तं भाति सर्वं तस्य भासः सर्वमिदं भाति। नैवेद्यम्। Okay. Just once more. Yeah. नैवेद्यं विविधं देव शर्करादिविनिर्मितं मया निवेदितं भक्त्या गृहाण परमेश्वर। Om Egidam Sovranavediam Sarvadevi Sarupaya Sri Ramakrishna Navedayami. Om Amrupastarasi Swaha. Om Pranaya Swaha. Om Apanaya Swaha. Om Vyanaya Swaha. Om Buddhanaya Swaha. Om Samatmanaya Swaha. Om Brahmane Swaha. Om Brahmarpanam Brahmahave Brahmatmo Brahmanahutam. Brahmayeva tena gantavyam brahmakarma samadhina. We can have one song. There will be an offering at the very end of everything for Thakur. This is just for the first offering.
So in between, then, if you want, like Ramakrishna Saranam or any other song,
Yeah, we'll do first Holy Mother's short Holy Mother Puja, then short Swamiji's Puja, and then we'll offer everything, so we can have most of the songs when we offer all the.
So just let us know.
Yeah.
ভাবরে দেখো প্রাণ ভরে জয় রাম কৃষ্ণ বলে দিবা বিভাবরে দেখো প্রাণ ভরে জয় রাম কৃষ্ণ বলে পাপ তাপ যাবে প্রাণ জুড়াইবে পাপ তাপ যাবে প্রাণ জুড়াইবে নামেরি মহিমা বলে দিবা বিভাব দেখো প্রাণ জয় রাম কৃষ্ণ বলে তরু পাত্র প্রান্তে লম্বিত নিহার জানকী পতনে কি বিলম্বতার তরু পাত্র প্রান্তে লম্বিত নিহার জানকী পতনে কি বিলম্বতার পদ্ম পত্রে জল জীবন চঞ্চল পদ্ম পত্রে জল জীবন চঞ্চল কেমনে রয়েছ ভুলে দিবা বিভাবরে ডাকো প্রাণ ভরে জয় রাম কৃষ্ণ বলে উঠো উঠো ভাই থেকো না আলসে দেখো নাম রসে ধরা যায় ভেসে উঠো উঠো ভাই থেকো না আলসে দেখো নাম রসে ধরা যায় ভেসে গায় দেশ বিদেশে রাম কৃষ্ণ নাম গায় দেশ বিদেশে রাম কৃষ্ণ নাম প্রেমের লহর তোলে দিবা বিভাব ডাকো প্রাণ ভরে জয় রাম কৃষ্ণ বলে সে নামে থাকে না ভবেরি বন্ধন ঘুচে যায় মায়া কামনা কাঞ্চন সে নামে থাকে না ভবেরি বন্ধন ঘুচে যায় মায়া কামনা কাঞ্চন হয় মৃত্যুঞ্জয় সদানন্দে রয় হয় মৃত্যু মৃত্যুঞ্জয় সদানন্দে রায় প্রেমানন্দে পড়ে ঢোলে দিবা বিভাব জয় রাম কৃষ্ণ বলে আহা মরি হেন রাম কৃষ্ণ নাম নাহি তাতে রুচি বিধি ওরে বাম আহা মরি হেন রাম কৃষ্ণ নাম নাহি তাতে রুচি বিধি ওরে বাম তুমি গুণধাম হয়ো না কোবাম তুমি গুণধাম হয়ো না কোবাম স্থান দাও পদ তলে দিবা বিভাবরী ডাকো প্রাণ জয় রাম কৃষ্ণ বলে পাপ তাপ যাবে প্রাণ জুড়াইবে পাপ তাপ যাবে প্রাণ জুড়াইবে নামি মহিমা বলে দিবা বিভাবরী ডাকো প্রাণ জয় রাম কৃষ্ণ বলে
Om Bhagavate Bhagavate Swaha. Om समस्त देव देवेश सार्वत्रिकरं परं अखंडानंद संपूर्णं परिहार जगभूतमम् ओम उच्छिष्टमप्यशु चिर्वा यस्य स्मरणमात्ततः शुद्धिमाप्नोति तस्मै ते पुनराचमनीयकम् तांबूलम् ओम फलपत्रसमायुक्तं नानागुणमनोहरं मया निवेदितं भक्त्या ताम्बूलं प्रतिगृह्यताम् माल्यम् ओम सूत्रेण ग्रथितं माल्यं नानापुष्पसमन्वितं श्रीयुक्तं लम्बमानं च गृहाण परमेश्वर आवरण पूजा ओम एते गंधपुष्पे श्री रामकृष्ण शरणं देवताभ्यो नमः ओम ऐं ह्रीं एते गंधपुष्पे सर्वदेवी स्वरूपिण्ये श्री सरदेव्ये नमः ओम एते गंधपुष्पे विवेकानंदादि श्री रामकृष्ण पार्षदेभ्यो नमः ओम एते गंधपुष्पे श्री रामकृष्णावरण देवताभ्यो नमः ओम स्थापकाय च धर्मस्य सर्वधर्मस्वरूपिणे अवतार वरिष्ठाय रामकृष्णाय ते नमः. And we have short worship of Holy Mother. Angushtabhyam namaha, Sanktartanibhyam swaha, Ram Madhyamabhyam vashat, Tam Anabhikabhyam hum, Yom Kanishtabhyam vashat, Om Sri Sarada Devi Kaladari Satyanastraya Pad Dhyanam. Om Dhyaye Chitta Sarojastham Sukhenam Kripayamayim Prasanna Vadanam Devi Dvipujam Sthiralochanam Adulayat Kesatavakshastarvimanditam Shvetavastrabhadhangam Hemalankara-bhushitam Swakrodhyastahastam Jnana-bhakti-pradayiniam Shubhram Jyotirmayim Jeva Papasantapaharinim Ramakrishna-pranam Tannama-shravana-priyam Tadbhavaranjidakaram Jagamatar-swarupini Janaki-ratika-dupa Dharanim Sarvamangalam Chinmayim Varadam Nityam Sharadam Mokshadayinim. Om Hring Esha Gandha Sarva Devi Devi Swarupinya Shri Sarada Namaha. Om Hring Idam Sachandar Pushpam Sarva Devi Devi Swarupanya Shri Sarada Namaha. Om Hring Idam Sachandra Patram Sarva Devi Devi Swarupanya Shri Sarada Namaha. Om Esha Stupaha Sarva Devi Swarupanya Shri Sarada Om Hring Idam Deepa Deepa Sarva Devi Swarupanya Shri Sarada Namaha. One of the small plates. The Holy Mother. Wonderful. Om Hring Idam Sarvavediyam Sarvadevi Devi Swarupanye Shri Saradevi Namaha. Om Edegam Pushpe Shri Saradevi Anga Devadabhyo Namaha. Om Edegam Pushpe Shri Saradevi Avarana Devadabhyo Namaha. Om Yathatne Dahiya Shakti Ramakrishna Sthita Hiya Sarva Vidya Swarupam Tam Sharadam Pranamamyaham. Now, should worship of Swami Vivekananda, or we can have one song for Holy Mother.
মা এসেছে মোদের কি আর ভাবনা ভাই, মা এসেছে মোদের কি আর ভাবনা ভাই, ভবের বোঝা দূরে ফেলে আয় সকলে নাচি গাই, ভবের বোঝা দূরে ফেলে আয় সকলে নাচি গাই, মা এসেছে মোদের কি আর ভাবনা ভাই, মা এসেছে মোদের কি আর ভাবনা ভাই, মাঝে জগতারিণী ভব ভয় হারিণী, মাঝে জগতারিণী ভব ভয় হারিণী, ধর্ম অর্থ কাম মোক্ষ সর্বদায়িনী, মাঝে জগতারিণী ভব ভয় হারিণী, ধর্ম অর্থ কাম মোক্ষ সর্বদায়িনী। আবার না চাহিতে সকল দিয়ে সন্তানের মন ভুলায়, না চাহিতে সকল দিয়ে সন্তানের মন ভুলায়। মা এসেছে মোদের কি আর ভাবনা ভাই, মা এসেছে মোদের কি আর ভাবনা ভাই। ওরে কে আছিস কোথায়, সবে আয় রে ছুটে আয়। ওরে কে আছিস কোথায়, সবে আয় রে ছুটে আয়। এমন সুদিন পেয়ে রে ভাই হারাস নি হেলায়। ওরে কে আছিস কোথায়, সবে আয় রে ছুটে আয়। এমন সুদিন পেয়ে রে ভাই হারাস নে হেলায়। শুধু জয় মা বলে দাঁড়া রে তুই, দেখবি দুঃখের নামটি নাই। জয় মা বলে দাঁড়া রে তুই, দেখবি দুঃখের নামটি নাই। মা এসেছে মোদের কি আর ভাবনা ভাই, মা এসেছে মোদের কি আর ভাবনা ভাই। ভবের বোঝা দূরে ফেলে আয় সকলে নাচি গায়। ভবের বোঝা দূরে ফেলে আয় সকলে নাচি গায়। মা এসেছে মোদের কি আর ভাবনা ভাই, মা এসেছে মোদের কি আর ভাবনা ভাই। মা এসেছে মোদের কি আর ভাবনা ভাই।
Okay, now we start a short worship of Swami Vivekananda. It's Karanyasa. Pang Anushtabhyam Namaha, Ving Tarthanibhyam Swaha, Kam Madhyamabhyam Vashat, Nang Anabikabhyam Hom, Nang Kanishtabhyam Astrayaput, Amen Vivekananda. David Davis. Worship. विश्वाचार्यं जगद्वन्द्यं विवेकानन्दरूपिणं विदेश्वरात् समुत्पन्नं सप्तर्षिमण्डलागतं ज्ञानभक्तिपरतारं पद्माक्षगौरविग्रहं ध्यायेत्येवं ज्योतिपुञ्जं लोककल्याणकारिणम्। ॐ एष गन्धः श्रीमद्विवेकानन्दाय नमः। ॐ इदं शतन्दर्पुष्पं श्रीमद्विवेकानन्दाय नमः। ॐ इदं सचन्द्रबिल्वपत्रं श्रीमद्विवेकानन्दाय नमः। ॐ एष धूपः श्रीमद्विवेकानन्दाय नमः। ॐ एष दीपः श्रीमद्विवेकानन्दाय नमः। Okay. This may be ॐ इदं सुरवेद्यं श्रीमद्विवेकानन्दाय नमः। ॐ परतत्त्वे सदा दीनो रामकृष्णस्थिताधिया रामकृष्णसमाज्ञया योधार्मस्थापनरतो वीरेशं तं नमाम्यहम्। Okay, now we can do the main food offering.
Okay.
Yeah, just Vedanta Sarada Devi, Sarada Devi, You want to play some of the songs?
Yeah, we can do Ramakrishna Saranam.
Yeah, we can do that. And then after you're finished with that, Devalina can sing one song. Couple of
Which one?
চাই তোমারি আশায় কত যুগ গত সংশয় জাত আজি আশায় কত যুগ গত সংশয় জাত আজি যাচ্ছে জীবন মায়ায় ধরিলে মানব কায় অরূপ লীলা লহরী ক্ষীণ মৃদুল করুণাময় অরূপ লীলা লহরী।
This is actually the real puja that we do. It's not offering flowers and fruits. It's offering everything that we have at the feet of Prabhu. This song was the favorite song of Swami Atmajnananda. And he couldn't sing himself, even though his father was known as having a very beautiful voice. But he himself couldn't sing. He would recite it as a poem at the end of meditation every morning, at least when he came to Jabuko. A very beautiful song written by a disciple of the Holy Mother, who was a very close boyhood friend of Swami Swaminanda's father, Swami Atmajnananda. So a very beautiful song, also my favorite song. We can distribute flowers. We can all do Pushpanjali together. I'll remain seated just close to the microphone. I'll recite the mantra, then you could repeat it after me. We'll do it 3 times.
And then
Then we'll do arati.
and
Then yapna. There will be a few mantras before. Om Esha Pushpanjali Sangaya Savarnaya Sashaktikaya Sarvakshadaya Sarvadevadi Sarupaya Sri Ramakrishna Om Desha Pushpanjali Sangaya Savarnaya Sashaktikaya Sarvakshadaya Sarvadevadi Sarupaya Sri Ramakrishna Om Desha Pushpanjali Sangaya Savarnaya Sashaktikaya Sarvakshadaya Sarvadevadi Sarupaya Ramakrishna Namaha. Om Krishna Divo Shiva Tatam Gurya Sapram Jaham Siddhir Bhavatu Me Devi Prasad Maheshwara Om Pritam Pundari Kaksha Savi Agnishwaro Harihi Tasman Tushte Jagat Tushtam Dene Se Pranitam Jagat Om Vitihinam Kriya Hinam Mantrihinam Vidatiram Nivediham Bhaktya Padipunam Tadastu Me Karma Antascharena Bhutam Drashtatvam Parameshwara Om Niranjanam Nityamanandarupam Bhattana Bandhatsavikraham Ishavataram Varansavedam Tam Ramakrishna Shirasa Namaha. Now we'll do full arati now.
okay. You will first play do some mantras before Khandana Bhava.
Just for a second.
Does anyone need Khandana Bhava?
Okay, you can start.
जय श्री गुरु महाराज जी की जय।
No, he's saying it's there, usually. Not putting maybe you can say that it's the end of the puja.
Okay. So this ends the formal worship of Sri Ramakrishna. In a few minutes, I'll say a few words about the Jnana Misra Bhakti. This is the teaching of Sri Ramakrishna regarding this blend of the path of devotion and the path of knowledge.
We can put a chair on the. We can put a chair there. We can put a chair.
Okay.
Oh, let me.
Which one? Oh, maybe I should put in the chair, like that. What about this? And then I will focus him a little bit.
When we talk about the teachings of Sri Ramakrishna, it's very hard to narrow it down to any one particular path because he was really the embodiment of all spiritual ideas and all spiritual moves. But we find special emphasis on the path of devotion. And this is for a couple of reasons. One is that when we read the Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna, it was generally directed towards the household of devotees because Anne was always there. So Thakur didn't recommend and restrict jnana yoga to very many people because it involves a great feeling of vairagya and the renunciation and dispassion. Really, it was only Swamiji and to a certain extent Swami Turiyananda, maybe Swami Vivekananda. Otherwise, even to the direct disciples, he emphasized this path of devotion. And he used different terms. It's not a dear bhakti. In this Kali Yuga, he said the path of devotion is taught by Narada. He used the term Shuddha Bhakti very often, and Ahituki Bhakti. Shuddha Bhakti, what does it really mean? Pure devotion. I take it in a couple of different senses. I don't want to say that it means devotion without knowledge at all, because then we have trouble with our jnana nisvara bhakti. But on one level, he does talk about this type of devotion that doesn't care for the higher type of knowledge. And he gives the example of two examples. One would be the gopis. I think it was Uddhava, who told them, "Why are you longing for Krishna so much? Don't you know he dwells within your heart? He's everywhere." They said, "We don't care for that type of knowledge. We want our old Krishna." Even Krishna with his turban and his royal dress in Mathura didn't please them. They wanted their old Govinda, the cowherd boy. And then Hanuman. When Hanuman went to Dwaraka, then Krishna said to Rukmini, "You better take the form of Sita, and I better take the form of Rama." That's the only form that he wants to see us in. Now, Jnana will tell us that the same divinity dwelling everywhere. But this idea of Shuddha Bhakti is a very strong form of nishtha, of wanting to see God in one particular form and not caring too much about anything else. Ramakrishna also used to say, "Why do you worry so much about knowing everything about God, all of the powers and glories and everything?" And he always talked about the example of Jadumala, that why worry about how much money he has and how much stocks he has and property and wealth and everything? So I'll meet him first. Then if you're interested, you can ask all of these other things. So there's a Shuddha Bhakti. But the other idea of Shuddha Bhakti is that it's a Haitaki Bhakti, that it's not asking for anything. We only want devotion, that we don't care to get any worldly gain, even mukti. Thakur makes a big distinction that mukti is relatively easy to get. Real devotion, prema bhakti, is something very rare. So we have this idea of the Shuddha Bhakti, a very pure idea. But on the other hand, when we go through the teachings of Sri Ramakrishna, filled with jnana, is filled with this idea of oneness, and with the idea that this infinite absolute reality will manifest in any form that we like, according to the longing of the heart. So we have this idea that Thakur really taught a type of devotion that was based on some deeper understanding. You may remember some conversation he had with Dr. Sarkar and some others, and this idea that having love without knowing God. How can we do that? If we love a person, we want to know something about that person. We don't have to know every little detail about their lives, but at least we have to know what is the nature of this God that we're worshiping. So Sri Ramakrishna, he gives us this blend, jnana misra bhakti, of knowledge and devotion, and the difference between Sri Ramakrishna and the way he taught devotion is that most of the bhakti teachers were dualistic in their understanding. I don't want to say all of them. We have many of the, especially the Shakti schools, but many of the typical worshippers of Krishna and Rama and other deities take a dualistic attitude. Sri Ramakrishna, he made a distinction between what is a higher type of truth and what is a practical truth. So he said, from the highest point of view, of course, there's oneness. And he would give the example that the only thing making us feel separation is this ego, the stick of ego lying on the surface of the ocean. That if we put a stick on the surface, if we look at it from above, we may get the impression that somehow there's a separation between one side and the other, but there's no separation. It's only on the surface. So as we remove that stick, there's only the ocean. So he says, yes, that this is the ultimate truth, that there's only this one ocean of consciousness. But because of the stick of ego, we feel some sense of separation. And then in a very practical way, he says, but it's very difficult to get rid of this I. And if we can't get rid of it, then let's utilize it. He was very practical. This is his idea of avidyamaya and vidyamaya. That yes, this sense of I also is within this relative universe. It's not absolute highest truth, but this can rid us of this lower type of I, which is attached to the body, the mind, the senses, to the world, to our possessions, to our career, our place in life, all of the things that we identify with, that we adopt a particular attitude. And this is something that we have a certain amount of freedom to do. So this is a distinction between a dualistic type of devotional attitude. The dualist will say that this form of God that we're recommending that you worship is absolute. That this is the ultimate truth. You worship our Krishna, you worship our Durga. That this is, but Ramakrishna, he took this other view that we're the ones through our power of love, the Him Shakti, we're causing the ocean to form blocks of ice. It'll take the form that we like, that we want to worship. So he could follow every different path, and yet he said that for most of us, without this, we have nothing to hold on to. So now we have two ideas. One is that we get to choose this whole idea of Ishta Devata. We get to choose according to the feeling within the heart. That some of us have a natural feeling of love towards mother, some love towards a child. So we can take the view of the attitude of Yashoda, the Vatsalya Bhava. Or we can take the attitude of Thakur that he had with his Shotan Bhava, that we worship God as mother, or any other type of attitude. They're all equally good. But we have this idea of Nishtha. Because of this idea of Nishtha, then we stick to the one that we like. So we have this freedom, and we respect all other paths because we see that they also have the same freedom. So he says it's a question of two things. One is ruchi bheda, and the other is hajam shakti, the power of digestion. One, what tastes good to us, and what can we digest? And so he gives the example, of course, the mother who has a big fish, and she has different children, and she knows that they have different tastes. Some of them like spicy fish, some macho jhol, morigonto, all different types of things. But someone may like this morigonto, but it's too spicy and rich. So mother knows, no, it's not good for this child. This child really has to have some very simple macho jhol, some simple fish stew type of thing. So it's a question of what we can digest, this adhikara, what what adhikara has a bit of a negative sense to it, that we're restricted, we're not qualified for that. It doesn't mean that in Thakur's sense. What Thakur means is something suitable to us. It'll be helpful to us. We shouldn't think that, oh, I'm following the path of devotion because I'm not smart enough. I'm not detached enough to follow the path of jnana. I'm taking a second-class path. There's nothing like that. It's whatever's best for us is the best. That's all. So we have these two ideas. What appeals to us, Ruti Veda, and this adhikara idea, what will be best for us. So Sri Ramakrishna teaches this devotion grounded in knowledge. It's a very beautiful idea that there is oneness. And for Sri Ramakrishna, it's a question of temperament. And in his case, there was a necessity to it. He had to adopt this relationship. He had to hold on to this ripe ego. Otherwise, his mind would get merged in the absolute, in that absolute oneness. He even had to pray to the Divine Mother. Mother, please, don't let my mind get merged in Brahman. I want to enjoy the company of the devotees. This was his idea of vijnana, that after getting to the roof and experience that absolute oneness, to be able to come down and to live in the world with that ripe ego. And so we have two ideas of this ego. One is on the way up. On the way up, we may say that I'm not this body, I'm not this mind. I say, okay, we can say it. And Thakur says, good. The very next moment it comes back. He says, you can reason 1,000 times. He says that literally, he says 1,000 times. You can reason away this ego, that I know the sense of I has no substance to it. I know that. I know it's false identification with everything. I know it. But the second somebody says something to me, I react. How dare you talk to me that way? The ego comes right back. So he says, Takshala. I'll show you. Then he said, let the rascal remain as a servant of God, as a child of God. So this idea of the relationship, we have this Panchabhava idea, and then Thakur, really we can add looking upon God as mother or God as father. We can have all different types of relationships. So this is very helpful. But this jnana misra bhakti, it doesn't involve this attitude that this separation is something real. We know that it's not ultimately real. So Thakur gives the beautiful illustration that when the sun of knowledge rises, then these blocks of ice melt back. They melt back into the ocean. He gives us so many illustrations. We have the example of the pond with the different bathing cups. And when the Hindu comes and he takes water and calls it jal and puts it in the pitcher, and then the Muslim will come, he'll put it in the big pouch and he'll call it pani. Then the Christian will come, he'll put it in the bucket, say, and call it water. And the thing is that the water is taking a different name and a different form. Thakur was asked one time, what is Brahman like? And normally he would say, what Brahman is, no one can say in words. But on this one occasion he said, he thought for a minute, and he said, Brahman is like water. Now, water has a very peculiar characteristic, that it's both formless and yet never occurs in a formless state. It's formless in that it doesn't have any form of its own. It only takes the form of the container that it's in. But it never comes in a formless state. Even the ocean, the top of it is flat. That's a form, and the bottom of it conforms to the ocean bed. So when we take this water out of the pond, we give it the name that we want and everything, but it takes the form of the container. What is that container? The container is our heart. Whatever the desire of the heart is, that's the name that we'll give it, that's the form that it will take. But even when it takes that form, it doesn't lose its formless nature. That will never be lost. The water that's essential to it. Both things are essential to it. There's so many other nice ideas about water. One of the other characteristics is that it has no color of its own, it has no taste of its own. but you add something to it. Put a little salt in, it tastes salty, a little sugar, it tastes sugary. You can put some color in, it takes that color. And the other thing about water is that it seeks its lowest level. Thakur gives so many illustrations that the reservoir is usually higher ground, and you have to dig a channel to bring that water to the field. So he says, generally what they'll do is that they'll keep the water blocked off. So while they're digging the channel, then the water doesn't come. The water doesn't come until it'll be a little floodgate thing. It won't come until the channel is completely done. And then you can lift up the channel and the water itself will come in. So this is another idea that this Brahman that we talked about is trying to fill the heart. And yet this ego is blocking it. This is the floodgate. We have to eliminate that sense of I, that lower sense of I. And this is again where Thakur is so practical. There's no harm in this ripe ego, he says. It's only this unripe ego. If we can get rid of that unripe ego, then His grace will come. It'll fill the heart and take the shape that we want to see it in. So we can realize God in any shape and any form. And at the same time understand that there's oneness is underlying everything, that every type of worship that people do in different tradition, with their own faith and everything, is equally valid. And yet we have our own nishtha, we have our own special love for our ideal, God in the form that we want to worship. Thakur explains nishtha in a very nice way. He says when the daughter-in-law goes into her husband's home, then she serves all the family members, her new mother-in-law, father-in-law, and uncles and aunts and everything with great love and devotion, but she has a special relationship with her husband. And the love and devotion she has to all of the others is because of her relationship with her husband. So we also have love and devotion for all different ideals, and yet a special relationship with our own ideal. So we can see this beautiful blending of this highest wisdom, this idea of oneness, this idea of the same God being worshipped everywhere, and yet there's room for nishtha, worshiping God in a particular form that most appeals to us and is the best for us, this idea of ruchi and adhikar. So I look upon this as really one of the very special teachings of Sri Ramakrishna, the Jnana Bhakti. I don't know if he himself used that term, but we hear it nowadays. If it was the Swamiji or the direct disciples, I'm not sure, but there's a very nice concept that the path of devotion based on the ground of the highest wisdom and the highest type of oneness. So we've had a very long puja today, and I don't want to go on too much, so let me stop here and thank everyone for inviting me to come. This is a great honor to do the puja here. I'm not a very trained type of pujari. I made lots of mistakes and things. I hope nobody noticed too much, but I tried to do it with devotion, and I hope Thakur won't mind too much the mistakes. And I hope that things will open up soon. We can go back to our regular meetings. Most of you know I believe.
Ramakrishna Sharanam, Ramakrishna Sharanam, Ramakrishna Sharanam Sharanye, Ramakrishna Sharanam.